Israel came under a surprise attack by Hamas, which combined gunmen breaching borders with a barrage of rockets fired from Gaza. The attack killed at least 500 Israelis, while at least 1,000 people are injured in these airstrikes. A stunned Israel launched airstrikes in Gaza, with its prime minister saying the country is now at war with Hamas and vowing to inflict an unprecedented price. Many world leaders have condemned Hamas for these attacks on Israel and their support. All right, viewers, I'm being joined by my colleague Akshat Gupta on the broadcast. Akshat, over to you to share more details on this.
Of course, after the surprise attack by Hamas, the scores of Hamas militants backed by a barrage of rockets broke out of the blockaded Gaza Strip and into nearby Israeli towns, which has killed more than 300 people in Israel. And if I just tell you, after this shocking attack, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu also vowed to reduce the group's Gaza hideouts to rubble. And yesterday also, in an address, also Netanyahu told that told the citizens also, if I quote, "We are at war after Hamas had launched its multi-pronged attack at dawn, half a century after the outbreak of the 1973 Arab-Israeli war." And according to the rescue service officials also, more than 300 people have been killed and 1,500 have been wounded in Israel, and at least 232 people have been killed in Gaza Strip, and more than 1,700 have been left wounded in the strikes which have been continuing since yesterday. And Israel has reportedly stopped supplying electricity, fuel and goods to Gaza after a statement came from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu yesterday night, and much of Gaza was already thrown into darkness by nightfall after electrical supplies from Israel, which supplies almost all of the territory's power, were cut off yesterday in the day. And Netanyahu also said that the first phase of the counter operation has ended and that Israel had fought off the majority of the Hamas militants. Well, if I just may also tell you, then gun battles raged into the night between Israeli forces and hundreds of Hamas fighters in at least 22 Israel locations, including at least 2 where gunmen were holding hostages. And intense airstrikes on the coastal enclave brought the Palestinian death toll to at least 232, as I said earlier also. And of course, the situation has been intensifying and becoming more worsening, because the army also said that the terrorists rampaged and broke into homes, massacring civilians. More than 1,000 people, of course, in Israel have been left wounded by gunshots, and of course more than 3,000 rockets just torn into the sky. And UN Secretary Council also called an emergency meeting. President Joe Biden also voiced rock solid and unwavering support for the US ally and warned against any other party hostile to Israel seeking advantage of the situation. And of course, Indian ministry also issued a notice for its citizens stranded in the Israel to be more vigilant in this war situation. And airlines have also cancelled more than 80 flights to and fro from Tel Aviv by yesterday evening, and roughly 14% of all flights scheduled because of the unprecedented attack in Israel by the militant group Hamas.
Absolutely, Akshat, absolutely. With that, I'd like to thank you for joining in on the broadcast and presenting those details to our viewers. Meanwhile, I'm also being joined by Mr. UK Devnath. He's a defense expert, and Wing Commander Prof Baki, who's also a defense expert. Good morning, sir, and thank you so much for joining in on NewsX. I'm in fact going to start this conversation by roping in Mr. UK Devnath. Now, sir, of course, 500 Israelis have been killed, 1,000 are injured. What are your reactions to this escalating conflict?
Yes, Savri, the battle has now gone into second day. Yesterday, Israel Air Force started attacking Hamas targets within Gaza. Gaza Strip is a very small place. North to south, it is just about 30 kilometers. East-west, it is just about 10 kilometers. So about 350 square kilometer area. It accommodates more than 20 lakh Arab and Philistine refugees. Now, Mossad was always working very actively in this area. Mossad always keeps an updated list of Hamas targets. That means buildings and structures from where Hamas launches rockets, where Hamas hides its weapons, and most important, where buildings, installations, and homes of Hamas leadership. And as per the normal practice, Israel Air Force, Army, and Navy are briefed by Mossad every day morning at 7 o'clock, 365 days a year. And so that in case war breaks out, then the Army, Navy, and Air Force, IDF, Israel Defense Forces, they know in advance what to do. They don't need much briefing after that. So these air attacks, Israel Air Force is using its fighter aircraft. They are using their UAVs and RPVs. Drone attacks are being carried out. Israel Army has encircled Gaza from 3 directions, that is north, east, and south. And similarly, the Israel Navy has cut off Gaza from Mediterranean Sea so that no military support from any country comes from seaside. Arab countries, though they are issuing statement in support of Hamas, but no Arab country at present is helping Hamas militarily, because none of them are capable of helping Hamas by any means. Practically on ground, Egypt is now a good friend of Israel. On ground, Saudi is trying to build up good relations with Israel. On ground, countries like Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, they are all very, very weak militarily and not in a position to help Hamas. Pakistan has been supporting Hamas and Philistine, but Pakistan is thousands of kilometers away. And Pakistan is under US control, so they will not send any military aid. Turkey remains the only country which may try to help. But Turkey also has its limitations because Turkey is member of NATO and Turkey wants to join EU also. So if Turkey at present gives any military support to Hamas, then Turkey's chance of joining European Union will forever vanish. So Turkey is also taking steps very carefully, just issuing some statements in support of Hamas. So Hamas is right now isolated, alone. Another thing which has happened is, as per intelligence sources, Hamas has had just about 10,000 rockets, out of which 5,000 they have fired off yesterday. So they are just about left with 5,000 more rockets, which they will consume today and tomorrow. So Hamas cannot continue with this rocket warfare indefinitely, whereas Israel Air Force, Israel Army has got no dearth of ammunition. During previous wars also it was seen, say 1967 Six-Day War or 1973 Yom Kippur War, it was seen that the moment war starts, a continuous line of US aircraft, strategic aircraft like C-17 starts supplying Israel ammunition, arms, rockets, and other military hardware. In fact, we can anticipate that by tomorrow you will see that US Air Force is launching almost 6 to 10 C-7 sorties from various European NATO bases where America stockpiles its weapon system, say Greece, etc., to Israel by its C-17 strategic airlift. So Israel has got no shortage of ammunition. It can fire any amount of ammunition and it will be replenished by USA within 24 hours. One more development which is likely to happen today is that America will definitely put pressure on Israel as well as on Hamas, that is Palestinian leadership also, that they finally resort to some kind of a ceasefire by today or tomorrow, because huge amount of life, limb, property is being damaged, civilians are dying. So USA will definitely try and stop this military exchange of fire by today, tomorrow, so that both the parties can again sit down, talk on table. Yes, Aswari?
Right, so absolutely. With that, I'd in fact like to rope in Wing Commander Prof Baki into the broadcast. So, of course, Group Captain UK, they've now just said that this is not going to be a prolonged war. But, of course, the Israeli Prime Minister has said that he has declared war. So, do you think this is going to be a protracted war?
Thanks, Ashwari. First thing, let me tell you one thing. This is a very ongoing subject. This is nothing new which we are watching. A, we also know very well that we like to keep our lips shut. This is basically a war between the Christians and the Islamist dominations. It is absolutely clear by the list of the countries which are supporting Israel. They're all non-Muslim countries. And no Muslim country has made a statement regarding supporting of Hamas openly. And let me tell you one thing. Yes, Group Captain has brought out the various aspects of what will happen to Turkey and what will happen to that. But basically, it is the Iran which is playing its game very, very seriously into this. Iran is supporting totally the Hamas. Now is the reaction of Russia has to be seen, and reaction of China. That is what China would want to see, where the thing lies, where the table turns, where the camel sits, because China is worried about American intervention, because America is waiting for a chance to finally make sure that they find a permanent solution to this problem and help Israel. Israel alone cannot do it until and unless Israel is ready to face the wrath of other countries. So Israel is, of course, totally capable. Now you will see all the attack helicopters, the fighter aircraft will start carrying out their attack. The Iron Dome was overcome by the quantity of the rocket system which came. But the rocket system is not that devastating. Even a single rocket is not that devastating as probably a big surface-to-surface missile would be. Yes, it still destructs. But the question is, once the offensive comes from air, where the attack helicopters start destroying the targets, and what Israel is going to do is to attack and occupy the real estate in 4 or 5 places, so that when the negotiations come, they come very strongly. And Israel has the wherewithal and the capability of carrying out this attack so that they can occupy the real estate. Until Israel takes real estate, killing civilians will not help, because let me tell you, Aswari, in this game, nobody is bothered about humanity. Only people want to take political mileage by talking about humanity and lip service. That is why you see all the humanitarian organizations are very last to come, and they look for the support, political support. They cannot work without political support of that region. So that is the problem. So this aspect is absolutely clear. China is waiting, and China would like to see, because the China's OBOR and BRI projects are going to pass through that area. And not only that, the suggestion which was there, India, Europe, the multi-faceted transport system, which is passing through Israel territory and passing through all that area and going into the sea, then following the sea route, that sort of a thing will get affected if the local countries don't support the project. And even Israel will be pressurized by India to support it. So this aspect also is very clear. China is very serious about it. China does not want America to come very strongly into this game. And Russia is just waiting and watching, because it is the Russian armament which is going to be sold. Countries are wanting to sell their armament, including Israel, will be supplied more. After all the F-16s, etc., which Israel has got, basically is American equipment. So America has a lot of say in it, though the Israel is technologically very advanced. What is the problem is that these Islamic side does not have enough, attack support of aerial support for attack. They are not, and they are not going to intervene. These Islamic countries are now, the Saudi Arabia, they are leaning towards the West. So is the other countries, Egypt, they are there. Sudan, etc., don't matter, and they won't interfere. So basically the Middle East countries, the Qatar, etc., They are not going to interfere at all.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.